Mr. Leonidas here. I hope you're doing good. This is going to be a video where I'm going to be going over what an improvised tomahawk or a survival tomahawk, or what my buddy Mike from Home of the Hawk Project, his YouTube channel, name is Zombies, he calls that a tension tomahawk. And what it is basically just making a tomahawk out of pretty much out of scratch. When you don't have a whole lot, you don't have maybe a workshop, or you're out somewhere like I'm out here hiking, and maybe I need a tomahawk to help me pretty much chop up some firewood, or maybe I have to defend myself, or other various things why you might need a tomahawk, because tomahawk is a uniquely American weapon, and there are a lot of applications for something like that, especially when you're outdoors doing bushcraft. And like I said, yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. And what I'm going to be using today is this is the handle for the Tops Hackett. Pretty awesome kind of put it together in the field kind of tomahawk. You have all the components, and I do have a review up of how to do this. And I'm going to be using the blade for that. This is called the Outfitter blade, tomahawk and a knife combination. So pretty awesome setup. There's a lot you can do with this. So I'm going to be going under the assumption that this handle is either broken or I've lost the components to use it, and or maybe I've completely lost the handle. So that's out of the game. So all I have is this blade and maybe some other survival accessories, like okay, I have this SOG folding saw. Okay, it's great. Anybody who has a multi-tool multiplier is probably going to have a small little saw. That's something you're going to want to carry in your pack. This one's lightweight. It's pretty mean, pretty sharp, and so you're definitely going to want some sort of survival saw or multi-tool. Next up is you're definitely going to need like a piece of wood, preferably fresh wood. That way it's kind of easier to work with and not dry. So and you're going to end up splitting this wood. So definitely you kind of want it more pliable. And then the next thing you're going to want is some 550 paracord. Now any serious sportsman is going to have 550 paracord. It's not that expensive, and it's easy to stow away. You can wrap it on anything. I highly recommend it for any outdoor activity that you do. Underneath this is a 10-inch galvanized nail. Now this is going to be very essential to making this tension tomahawk, because that is how I'm going to make the tension, and basically going to be putting the tomahawk together, and it's going to look something like this. So kind of like I said, all you need is something like a saw, or if you don't have the saw, you can chop down whatever you need to use with your tomahawk blade. If you don't have the tomahawk blade, use a rock or whatever. Improvise. I've done it before. So you have your handle, your blade, and you have your galvanized nail, your paracord, and then lastly you're going to need something like a kind of a heavier piece of wood to baton with, because I'm going to make a split in this fresher piece of wood. I'm going to slide my tomahawk blade in. There's another method where you can shave off the edge and make it flat on the top, and put your tomahawk blade next to it like that. Now I'm not as familiar doing it like that, so I'm going to basically just make the split and slide it in, because I'm going to get tension on either side of that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and you'll just see how it goes, and I'll talk as I go. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the split for the tomahawk to slide into. Now this is going to be pretty easy, because I have a tomahawk and knife combo, so I'm good to go right there. And I'm just going to do traditional sword batoning. Easy. Now I picked the smaller end of the handle here. That way I have, it's kind of matched up size-wise, and I can slide it in there real easy. And you already have, that is on the way. That's already a good looking tomahawk right there. You're on your way on a good route if you've gone this far. So next up, now what a lot of people can do is you can simply, because what I'm about to do is you can just simply wrap it. Now the method, Mike from Home of the Hawk Project, he recommends just tying it 3 times over each side, making an X pattern, which I am about to do. And what I'm gonna first do is I'm gonna tie it off. And tie it off, I'm gonna cross over here, and I'll show you that close up real quick. Just made a simple knot, crossed over just like that. So next up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna complete the X. Wrap 3 times there, and then I'm gonna go over and wrap 3 times on the other side. Now you definitely will want to have 3 feet of paracord. No doubt or at least 3 feet or a few feet of paracord to work with. And then what I'm going to do is you can leave some extra and tie off the excess on that, or just continue it on the Tomahawk. But I'm just gonna knot it off. Let's be simple right now. Okay. So there's the idea. Now is where your tension comes into play. I'm going to take that galvanized nail, I'm going to slide it in. I'm going to try for all 3. Actually, I'm just slide it in 2 for now. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not totally sure if it matters each direction now, but I'm going to crank it and make it straight up and down. Now, that's pretty much your Tomahawk. The more tension you're going to have is the further down the Tomahawk is going to, or the further down the nail is going to go. So it's going to look similar to that, pretty much. That's pretty much what you're looking at. Not perfect, but the word is improvised. And then what you can do is basically, this is why you need the extra paracord, and just tie it off. And if you have a lot of paracord, you're going to want to protect that nail. And you can do, you know, whatever you like. You could leave extra paracord to tie it off easier. I'm just making some sort of loop knot within the tension. Real simple. Like I said, and then later on, if you have a lot more paracord, protect the X. Protect the X, protect the rest of the nail. And there's going to be a little bit of play. I mean, nothing's perfect, but like I said, it's the word improvise. Well, let's go chop some wood to see how this thing works. Alright, now let's see how this bad boy works. Final recap of the survival, improvise, and the tension Tomahawk is a big suggestion I would make is, if you are trying this, that if you do have a blade with holes in it, that I would use them accordingly. Because when you are pounding and cutting against something, there's a lot of force pushing against what is in that handle. This piece of steel, this blade that is in the handle, a lot of pushing force. I drove the paracord through those holes on the back of the blade, and it did me wonders. It turned it into a much better tool. Now I will tell you that it would still be a pretty good weapon if you didn't necessarily do that, but if you really want to be effective with your tools and your weapons, then use everything to your advantage. And and like I said, you may not have that on the blade you are using, but if you have a very large hand guard, I mean, use that to your advantage. Get as much friction against the force of what you're using this against to your advantage. But like I said, this is it's a pretty cool method that I learned from Mike at Home of the Hawk project. So check out his channel. He's got some awesome kind of homemade projects and things that he's done. He has the Tops Eco Hawk, which I'd love to try out here one day. Very similar idea to this, but that's the kind of top-down look. I mean, it is a little bit ugly, but I was able to get some work done. Like I said, just use certain things to your advantage when you're making something. But anyway, that's pretty much all I've got on that. So I hope you enjoyed. This is Mr. Leonidas signing out.